There's something about returning to the Midwest, a place stitched into my bones whether I like it or not. It's where the sky opens up wide, the people say what they mean, and the gas station pizza still slaps if you're in the right mood. I come back for family, for old friends, for the comfort of knowing exactly how a campfire on a summer evening smells. But let's be honest, I'm also here for video games, garage sales, flea markets, forgotten storefronts on a half-empty main street. Somewhere in all this rust and resilience, there are video games waiting to be found. And while I have mixed feelings about the place, what it is, what it was, I keep coming back. Because deep down, I love it.
I flip and dip through old game stores. You called me twice and I hit ignore. Said I'd be home, but I just flipped. And I dip for gobs I haven't ripped. Flip and dip. Love's on pause, I lost my grip. Flip and dip. Another night, another trip. My shelves are stacked, my days feel slow. I flip and dip with room to grow. No final boss, no need to show. New game, new save, new kind of glow.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I always go to this half-price books because 1, I like half-price books, and 2, this is one of the closest ones to my parents' house. That's $5 for a Sega Saturn game. I have no idea why I didn't get it. You know, it's actually kind of funny. Half the time when I look back at my footage, I ask myself, why did I not get that thing? Did I just not notice it? I'm always surprised at the amount of video games I can find in one of these stores that are just kind of uncommon. Like, I didn't know a single person growing up that owned Super Turrican, but it's just chilling right there. And I don't know if this PS3 Thor game is any good, but I know the Nintendo DS version of this game is decent. You know, I've bought Half-Life 2 a couple of times recently, but I've never actually played through this game. For some reason, the way the motion works, it kind of just makes me sick playing this. I've kind of noticed that the prices are of weird increments, like $33.99, like what is that all about? But anyways, that's not a bad price for that game, and $40, not a bad price for that game either. Kind of chilling in this clearance bin is this Pokemon Monopoly. Unfortunately, it's missing some pieces, so I'm gonna leave it here. I have no idea why that's $125, but that's an accurate price. My kid's super into Dogman right now, but they didn't have any, so I got him Captain Underpants. In Fairfield, Ohio, next to the Dixie Highway, is this particular Goodwill with an interesting font choice. $6 for an original PS3 controller really isn't a bad deal. However, half the time the battery doesn't work, but for $6, I'm willing to gamble. These Jordan 3s are way too small for me, and some totally random Yokai Watch figures that you kind of build yourself. Kind of reminds me of Gunpla. And look, a couple of decent PlayStation games, not bad. And that's a very special copy of Titanic on VHS. And look, a loose Animal Crossing. I never see Switch games anywhere. I'm pretty impressed with how stacked this store is, and check it out, a copy of Titanic on VHS. But I'm going to leave this here because instead I'm going to pick up a VHS that I actually want for my collection. Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion isn't really a teen comedy, but it's a favorite of mine and I'm picking it up. Now first things first, I got this very special copy of Titanic on VHS. It's a Titanic Collector's Edition. I don't really see these that often, but they're pretty cool. They contain a lot of things, one being this beautiful picture of Jack and the cast of Titanic, this little art book, and then one of these little pamphlets that says what's in it. The prize, the big thing in this is a little film strip that shows, people from Titanic on VHS. By the way, if you don't know this already, I send all of these to Titanic Fan 97. I have an enormous box that I need to send him. At some point, I'm going to get him down there. But the last but not least thing in this box of Titanic is, the widescreen edition of Titanic on VHS, which is also pretty uncommon. This particular one was sealed, which is crazy. The next film I got here was Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion. I don't know why, but I just love this movie. It's just really feel good, but it's also melancholy. I don't know, it's a perfect film. Last but not least is this PS3 controller. It's a neat color, and even if it doesn't work, it's still neat to have. Right next to a store called Nelson's Popcorn Land sits a video game store by the name of Games for Less. Right off the bat, I noticed that they had a hodgepodge of interesting things, like this Vectrex just chillin'. They had a very decently sized N64 collection, filled with common and slightly uncommon titles. Right here was a game I was looking for months, for years actually, but then all of a sudden I see it here twice. Right here they had a copy of Goof Troop, which is a precursor to a Goofy movie and a terrific Saturday morning show. Sitting sideways was this box-only Sega CD. Now it was a really clean box, but I don't know if it was worth $345. Browsing through the store in the middle of Southwest Ohio, I was very impressed by the amount of Japanese imports and pretty good selection of regular titles as well for decent prices. The internet has made the collecting of video games much more accessible for a lot of gamers. As a kid, I remember looking through the internet on forums where they talked about these different video game consoles and never finding them ever at my video game store. Nowadays, because of the import and export of video games across different state lines, you can find these types of consoles anywhere. I just bought one of these baby Marios for my kid at the Nintendo of America store, but here they are, just in the middle of Ohio, and they've actually got a few more models that they didn't have at that store. I'm actually going to the SoCal Gaming Expo, and just very vaguely, it is Skate or Die branded, so I've decided to buy as many Skate or Die games as I can. Now the funny thing is, I've actually just considered TNC Surf Design a Skate or Die game, even though it's not at all. So I'm picking up all of these as well. I mean, the convention's in California. Some people say ham, some people say ham. But honestly, they've got so many copies of Skate or Die here, it's just kind of out of control. But anyways, I think I'm set on copies of Skate or Die now. Now this next thing is a milestone in the making. Right here is Mega Man 6. It is my favorite in the original NES series, mainly because it's the one that I bought as a kid. But over here, the reason it's a milestone is because this completes my NES Mega Man set. I've always been a big fan of Mega Man because, you know, before me, my brother was a big fan of Mega Man. I was never good at Mega Man, but Mega Man 6 was probably the only one I ever beat in the original NES series. Well, anyways, having all the Mega Man games is super cool to me. I'm glad that I can just play them, even though there's like a million ways that you can play Mega Man. And yeah, it's a ton of fun to have all these. I've been collecting copies of Skate or Die and copies of Town and Country Surf Designs, mainly because I'm going out to California to the SoCal Gaming Expo. Now, the theme of this expo is vaguely Skate or Die, but I decided, you know what, Town and Country Surf Designs is also pretty California, so I'll collect those as well. What I'm going to do with these is just hand them out pretty much. I'm going to try to interview as many people as possible, and I'll have one copy for myself for everybody to sign, and if people, get an interview with me, I'll give them a copy of one of these games. Who knows, this might be fun. Sitting in front of a beautiful sky is this disc replay near Indianapolis. I've always felt that there are pluses and minuses to a disc replay store. One of the main things being that most of their cases are in fact reproduction cases. Now from a plus standpoint, they had a ton of classic N64 games, a lot of common things, and if you're looking to pick up some things in a collection for relatively cheap, you can get them here. If you need a graphing calculator, get a graphing calculator. Weird enough, that's actually a really good price for just the box of that. I don't know why this case is always the way it is. I think it's their top dollar case, but I always find things in here that I'm like, oh, that's uncommon. I'm glad I'm seeing that here. And then in the back corner, they've got this shelf here with some oddities. I like that dog bone controller. I've been looking for a copy of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers forever, but all I can find is just Power Rangers. And just randomly, they have the world's most rare amiibo. It's Quibi. It is the Box Boy amiibo, and it was a Japan-only amiibo. In box, this can fetch you somewhere around $420, but still, I've never seen this ever. I guess in general, there's been some amiibos that have been creeping up in price. I didn't realize this at all. I didn't end up picking anything up today, but it's always nice to go into this disc replay because, you know what, it's really close to my favorite store in Indiana. The Exchange might be my favorite video game store in all of Indiana. Every time I'm in Indiana, I make sure to go here because they've got great deals and great stuff. My kid's into Dogman, I'm picking this up 100%. This is their case full of rare titles. It's always neat to see them, even though these are the types of rare titles I see a lot. But if you're into this sort of thing, you should show up and snap up the games that you're looking for. River City Ransom is one of my favorite beat-em-ups of all time, and Turok in Japanese looks insane. When I was collecting for Wii U, this game eluded me for so long. My kid's really into Ben 10 right now, so we might play it together. People keep asking me, when I finish my N64 collection, what am I going to get? It might be Xbox or it might be GameCube. The first time I was ever recognized out in the wild, I was actually recognized at this store, The Exchange. Somebody there was like, hey, aren't you that guy that makes videos? And I thought they were mistaken, like they were thinking of somebody else, but they were thinking of me. I love this store, but I'll always remember that. I keep telling myself I'm not collecting amiibos, but whenever I see an amiibo that's really cool looking, I pick it up. So that's why I picked up this Shovel Knight, and then I was like, hey, look at that, there's a gold Shovel Knight. So yeah, I picked up the gold Shovel Knight too. I also love this game. It is so fun, and I've actually beat it, so yeah, I'm gonna collect both of these. And Dark Samus was also dope, so yeah, pick that up. You know, I don't usually buy anything that isn't video games from the store, but I decided to ask them if they had any Laserdiscs, and they had a ton. They had a lot of a specific genre I like, sci-fi, but it's also like 90s sci-fi that's like what the 90s thought the future was going to look like, and I love that. They also had some other good ones that I think are 10 out of 10 movies. Anyways, I picked a whole bunch of Laserdisc up, and I'm glad I did that too. Last but not least, I'm going for a complete N64 set, and I found this game right here. I don't know why, but my count has been off for a long time. I rechecked my count, and I've actually only got 10 games left in my N64 set. Quite a jump forward, but I've only got 10 games left in a complete US loose N64 set. Indiana has a whole bunch of half-price books around Indianapolis. Let's check this one out. Klonoa is an expensive game, but not $400 expensive. That's overpriced. This Tail Concerto is a grail of mine, but I'm not going to pick it up for that price. On the eve of the Switch 2 coming out, I always felt that the Switch was such a collectible console. Speaking of Persona, there's a rumor going around that Persona 4 Golden is going to be remade. Outrun 2006 is a highly desirable game, but the Xbox version is best. It's kind of interesting. 3 consoles in a row, there is a version of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's a great game though. It's been a very long time since I've played a Pokemon game, but at some point I think I might play through the entire series. I was a huge Gold and Silver fan. This Project Zero game is actually a highly sought after Wii U game. I'm not picking it up just because I don't have a European Wii U. I didn't pick up anything today, but this particular location was pretty well stacked. In the heart of downtown Fortville, Indiana, sits the Retro Sync, a video game store with some tude. If you don't like a video game store with a Power Rangers shaped teddy bear, then I don't know what you like. Well, hey there, off-book Super Mario Pinball Machine. In my hunt for N64 games, I'm looking for any game I can find that I currently don't have. Unfortunately, while they do have some neat looking games here, there are no N64 games that I need. No copies of Skate or Die, but I am picking up this copy of Ski or Die. They've got EverDrive, but why would I buy that when I could buy every N64 game? The greatest hits version of Silent Hill 2 is actually the preferred version because it fixes all the glitches and contains all the DLC. I'm a big fan of Small Soldiers, and while I've never actually played this game beyond the demo, I'm picking it up for nostalgia alone. Hey pal, have you ever wanted a European N64? Well, for some reason they have one here in the middle of Indiana. So, if you want it, you can purchase it. 2 sealed games and a stuffed animal sealed for only 25 bucks. I'm gonna leave it here, but this is pretty neat. I ended up picking up a copy of Ski or Die, because you know what, it's close enough to Skate or Die. Not really, I've never played this game, I have no clue. And then on top of that, I had a bunch of store credit because I went back here a while ago, and I ended up getting this game for practically free. So yeah, I picked up Small Soldiers, a game I was interested in, and ended up getting all this. With this and all the other copies of Skate or Die and Skate or Die adjacent games, I think I'm ready for the SoCal Gaming Expo. Yeah, this is too many copies of one game. It's really hit or miss for me when I go to Goodwills in the Midwest. For one thing, if you're a huge Shirley Temple fan, then this is the right Goodwill for you. However, if you're looking for video games, well then, yeah, they've got Project Gotham Racing 2, then that's not bad. That's actually a pretty good game. They also got a Ben 10 game. I'm actually kind of impressed with the amount of cool things they have here. Like everybody loves Celine Dion, they got a Celine Dion CD. This is a portable DVD player, and this is a crayon maker. Crayon, crown, crayon. So anyways, yeah, if you're in Indiana, maybe Westfield, and you're looking at Goodwills, maybe you can find some good stuff here. Not a bad place to go to Goodwill. Hopping around all the way back to Hamilton, Ohio, I went to this place called Pinball Garage. Now, I've never been here, but I've heard good things. Like one, they have a lot of pinball machines here. I actually ended up going here on my birthday and played this spinny crane game sort of game. I didn't think I would win, but let's see how this round goes.
This is to bet the other person's.
Oh! Yes.
That was so exciting.
Oh. Time to open up that game grab. Looks like we got ourselves a Knuckles. Yeah.
We ended up playing a bunch of other prize-winning games, but didn't do too well, but it was a lot of fun trying. It's kind of funny, I haven't hung out with these two particular friends together since I got married, which is crazy to think of, but yeah, we used to hang out all the time in high school. Anyways, it was nice to catch up with them, and if you are ever in a place like Hamilton, Ohio, and you want to play some games, especially pinball ones, and you want to play them with friends, by all means, go to the Pinball Garage. It's a great place to play pinball and catch up with old friends. As per usual, thank you so much for watching this. I'm actually going to be at the SoCal Gaming Expo. I've mentioned it about 4 or 5 times in this video, but I really hope you're there, and if you're there, say hello.